Welcome back to the Better Everyday podcast, where we're unlocking our best self one episode at a time. My name's Grace Garcia, and this is my husband, David Garcia.
Hello.
I hope you guys missed us. I hope someone noticed. Like, wait, they haven't posted. Maybe no one has noticed.
That's such a sad thing to say.
What?
Because nobody probably noticed.
I hope someone noticed. Let us know. Drop a comment if you noticed that we were gone for 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks we were gone, and it is my fault. David, if it was up to David, he'd just he could do solo podcasts. I feel like you'd be good at it. But David could crank these bad boys out every week. And yeah, it was my fault, but we're back. I'll kind of explain a little bit why we were gone these past 2 weeks. But life has been, I feel like, busy. We have mentioned that in prior updates, how you started helping out at church. We're doing tribe groups, and we're still maintaining, like, on top of that, our regular life which was already busy before that anyway.
Yeah.
With our working out schedule, the kids' extracurricular activities. Elijah has soccer. Now we added Araya to ballet. That's new. I don't know if we mentioned it before.
No.
So she's been in ballet now. And yeah, so it seems like it's a busy last 2 months, I want to say.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah, it's been pretty busy. Yeah, with the church stuff, and it's just nonstop. Like today, Elijah's soccer practice got canceled, and he was like, "Oh, hey, like, can we go like practice soccer anyways?" And Araya was sleeping, and you were leaving for the gym, and I'm thinking about all the things that I have to do, and I'm like, I don't know, dude. Like, I don't think so, and like, it feels bad to say like, oh, I don't think so, just because like how busy we are. But I know like we'll make up for it on the weekend and stuff. Last weekend we went out and we had a great time. So I think in those moments, I think there's a little bit of guilt of like, I wish I could, but then you also have to be responsible with all the things that you have to do. So you can't like drop the ball. So you got to have that balance. So yeah, it's been pretty busy, but I am looking forward to June where things start to slow down. We will be done with the Financial Freedom Tribe group this month. And then after that, we get our Thursdays back. And then I'm done with helping at church. They've hired the people that they need to hire, and so they're good now. And so June, I get my Wednesdays back and my Sundays. And so, you know, we won't go to like complete like unbusyness, but definitely a good amount of weight off.
Yeah, I think it'll be easier having our tribe group days back and then your church days.
Yeah.
And I'm nearing the end of the school, and the end of the school year is always rough. Like, students stop caring, so behavior is up. They don't want to learn. Everything is like a drag for them. And for us too, teachers feel it, students feel it. And so we're all just trying to make it. We have 3 weeks counting this week, and so I'm like, I see the end of the tunnel. I am going to be teaching summer school this summer, but it's half day. It's only for a month. And so part of me is like, why am I counting down till summer if I have to just recount again for summer vacation? But
you're recounting because
it's
during
different.
Summer, yeah, it's completely different because you usually cry like, oh, I never get to touch my teacher paycheck. But for summer, you get 50% of that. And that 50% is a really nice chunk.
Yeah.
And that's a perfect chunk for you to get right before our anniversary trip.
Yes. And it is a half day. And so my kids will be in the summer program because I have to work. And so I'm telling myself that'll free my afternoon so that I can work out before picking them up, which will be nice.
Mm-hmm.
So that way my evenings can be like free and not feel, because it does sometimes suck when, again, after work, we're like, okay, soccer practice, and then you're working out, and then I work out, and it's a lot. And so definitely looking forward to slowing down. We just have to get through May, a little bit of June, and we're there. And we have great things planned for this summer.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait. So lots of good things. But that being said, again, why I've been out the last 2 weeks, again, completely my fault. I was going to ask you to bring tissue. I know I'm going to cry this episode.
Why? What the heck?
Because I'm like, I don't know what to talk about, so I'll just talk about myself. But
Okay, let's talk about you.
But I'm going to cry a lot this episode. Mind you, every time I feel like I cry, it's like the week before a period. Or no, maybe I just cry all the time. It's not even correlated.
You talk about all your phases. I have no idea what any of them means. You're like, I'm in my luteal
He needs
phase.
to
I'm like,
study.
I have no idea.
Women tell him like follicular, luteal, like it makes a huge
According
difference.
to all those phases, you guys get one normal week.
Oh, every woman is like, why is it? And there's been studies that shown that if we try to be consistent like you guys, like we'll fail because there's a cycle. And so they say to like, if you want to be productive certain this week, and then do like your calm this week.
I don't know if I buy into all that.
It's biologically proven.
That's the thing though. That's the thing though. Like, I have my Hispanic side of my brain, okay, that says, oh yeah, like obviously we talk about things in the last like 5 to 10 years that we haven't talked about for 20, 30 plus years or whatever. Like if you were to say these things to a Hispanic woman that's 50, 60 years old, they're like, that's a load of baloney. Because and the reason why I have a battle within my head is like, okay, like how much credibility do we give to the things that we're talking about now? Which you could be like, oh, it's scientific and blah, blah, blah. But then again, a woman in their 50s or 60s just be like, no, that's a lot of just a bunch of hogwash, like just control yourself or blah, 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 blah. Like I always go, I battle with the thought of like putting a label to something because then the people embrace it, right? Like we talk about ADHD, we talk about, like learning disabilities and stuff like that. And people like will grab it and be like, this is what I have. And that's why my life is the way it is. And it is what it is. It's scientific. So, oh, well. I'm not saying it's one way or another. I'm just saying like there's a.
Well, I feel like you should read a book on it, form a valid opinion.
It wouldn't just have to be one book. It would have to be various books to get like the well-rounded. I need like the both books. Spectrums where it's just like one says like here's the reasons why not and here's the reasons why yes, and then just like come up with my own conclusion.
I can help you find the book.
No, I would never read a book like that.
It's like postpartum. Like people can say like, oh, just be happy, be grateful, but something physically is happening with your body, like your hormones. You can't deny that.
It's hard for a man to understand those things, yo. Like, I don't get it.
Okay. That being said, I might get emotional. Because it's the week before my period.
That's why.
Yes, it's called PMS, premenstrual cycle. So I don't even remember when. I think it was a couple weeks ago, maybe 2-3 weeks ago, where I had my yearly OBGYN checkup. And I went to the doctor thinking like I'm just going to get a referral to get a mammogram, maybe a pap smear, just do, your physical, your weight, whatever, blood pressure, you're good to go, move on with your life. I went and I swear, I don't know. I mean, I'm busy and I have a lot on my mind. But I swear last year they said I just have to do a yearly checkup for mammogram. Mm-hmm. And so when I went, she was like, oh, no, you're supposed to be doing every 6 months. And so I was overdue. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I didn't know that. And then they said they want to switch it between a mammogram and then an MRI every 6 months. The reason being is, I didn't know this, that if you have more dense breasts, which you can look it up, like what does dense breast mean? The cancer like can be hidden. It'll look just like dense, like a mammogram might not capture it. And they do make you sign a lot of like paperwork saying like you can't sue them if they say it's good and then you end up having a cancer thing where it can't detect it. Versus the MRI, the radiation, I'm assuming is more thorough
Yeah.
But MRI radiation, they don't like recommend it like consistently or whatever. So that's when I found out I do have, the mammogram technician was like, your breasts are dense. I was like, I looked it up and I'm like, great. Another thing to just keep in my mind. But then they told me that they recommend a double mastectomy. And they were like, has anyone told you about it? And I was like, no, like no one brought it up to me. She made it seem like if I have been in contact with someone, like talking to someone about this, and I'm like, no, I haven't. Like, I'm here to get information. Like, I have not been talking to someone. Maybe that's my bad, or I don't know. And so I did text you, and I was like, oh, this is emotional, because I was going in with like, oh, this is just a random checkup. And then I was told they recommend that. And then at 40 to 45 years old, they recommend a double hysterectomy. I don't know if I'm saying that right. If I'm butchering these terms, you can look them up and see what it is. And so I was like, oh, okay. And I didn't know that if you do get a double mastectomy, and that's where they remove both of your breasts it's like prevention. So I don't have cancer. Thank God. I feel like I am privileged that I have the opportunity to do preventative measures, because there's people who find out when they already have cancer. Mm-hmm. But if we've talked about this before, but if you guys don't know, my mom died very young. She just turned 44, if I'm not mistaken. And she passed away 1 month after her birthday with stage 4 breast cancer. And so last year when I turned 30, I took a gene test to see if I had the gene, because I remember my mom talking about it, but we didn't have insurance. It cost a lot of money, whatever. So I have good insurance now, thank God. And I think it was free. We didn't pay anything and I do have what it's called BRCA2, I think, BRCA or something like that. And it just means that for whatever reason, my hormones or whatever can't fight against cancer cells as much as the average person. So my probability of getting cancer goes up between 40 to 70% than the average person. And so that, I guess when doctors see my mom's history, how she got it at such a young early age, and see that I have that gene, that I carry that gene, they kind of just are like, oh, we need to prevent this, right? As much as possible, and wisdom. And so I brought it up to you, and then even you were like, oh, that seems just so extreme, mm-hmm. Right? That's what you were thinking. I don't know if you want to chime in what you were thinking.
Just my Hispanic brain. My Hispanic brain automatically went to, they're trying to scare you. I feel like it's kind of like a sales tactic. Let me get you emotional to be able to push you the way that I want you to push. I want to push you. I want to get you emotional so I can make you feel like you're at the brink of getting cancer, and it's better for you to prevent it, and it's better for you to do this. Humongous, it's a serious operation for you to get your breast removed. And then not only that, but then it's not just removing your breast. They're also going to be okay, now that you're going to remove it, don't you want to get some work done? So make it look normal, blah, blah. And for me, I feel like they're just yeah. You go to a car mechanic and you went in for an oil change, and they go, well, guess what? You also need this change and that part changed and that one. You go in thinking that you're going to spend $80, and then you end up paying $1,200 because, they tacked on all these things. And I feel like that's the same thing with the doctors, especially because we live in America and it's all capitalistic and it's all about money. That's where my brain automatically went. I'm like, this woman is 30 years old. She's doing all of her tests. I honestly felt a little bothered. I'm like, why are they pushing her to do this? Yeah.
And that makes sense, I think, in the beginning, just your immediate thought. And then once you think, once I think about it, I'm okay, that OBGYN has no connections to the person she's referring me. She's not going to benefit from it, right? I would assume, because then they outsource me to another surgeon. There's no correlation of commission or anything.
What if there is? Perhaps, why is it called a referral? That person referred it to that person.
Commission,
that person went to 10%. That person.
Maybe. I have no idea.
It's a whole pyramid scheme.
Yeah. And so I definitely was oh my goodness, okay, I was caught off guard by it. But then doing my research, I didn't know that you get 90 to 95% chance it goes down by doing the surgery. Mm-hmm. And one of the things we were discussing, and so that's what I want to talk about, like not just about this, but I thought of like, what does getting better every day look like when life gets hard, or like when you feel like you're going forward and then it feels like you're going back. If that makes sense.
Okay.
Because like in my case, I feel like for most of my life, I wasn't healthy. I was just living unintentionally. And we say that when you live unintentionally, like you're going to go down the wrong path. That's where we're wired to, human nature, to go the easy, lazy way, route. And it wasn't until like before I hit 30 when I was like, okay, when I'm 30, like I have to make a change. Like I'm only going to get older. And again, thinking of my mom's history, I'm like, it's not wise for me to just continue living like whatever. Like, oh, it might not happen to me, but I'm eating bad, not working out, all that stuff. And so at 30, I did a huge drastic change. Like, I mean, not like super drastic, but compared to a year ago, like I'm shocked at how fast and how far I've come in a year span. And like, I'm trying to just continue getting better moving forward. And so you even asked me, like when I told you that this is what the doctor recommended, the OBGYN, you were like, oh, but you're healthy. Like, I wonder what factor does that play? Like, it's not like you're someone who's not working out, not trying to eat healthy. Like you're making the right lifestyle choices. Yep. And so it looked it up and it says like, it doesn't matter. Like you could take, which I mean, it seems like unfair, but life is unfair, right? You take an unhealthy person without the gene and a healthy person with the gene. The unhealthy person still has a way less probability of getting it than the healthy person. I might be, compared to an unhealthy person with the gene and a healthy person with the gene, I might have a higher probability of not getting it, but average with someone who doesn't have it at all, even unhealthy, I'm most likely going to. So like my health plays a very minimal probability of getting it. What it does help is once I get it, I can fight because my immune system is higher. I'm stronger. I'm starting off with a good, healthy body. So when I do get it, I can fight harder. But that doesn't mean like, oh, she's healthy. She can't, like she's untouchable because she's healthy, if that makes sense. Yeah. And I feel like that was something where I was just like, oh yeah, what if I don't have to go through this because I am healthy? And so, yeah, what did you think about, like, you said in the beginning, the first thing you thought, okay, capitalism, they just want money. You went in your Hispanic brain. Like, do you still think that? Did you change your mind? Like, what do you...
I guess I reached a level of compromise in my head where I'm like, I don't think she needs it right now. And I'm like, she's going to get a mammogram and an MRI every 6 months. I'm like, so my thought process is like, she's going to get a test every 6 months to see if she has anything. And I'm like, even if she were to get something, if you're checking it every 6 months, the chances of you getting it checked and then the day after you get checked, then you get cancer. And then you wait 6 months to get the next one. From those 6 months, I looked it up. Like the chances that it like progresses like in a rapid rate is like super minimal. Like you're still going to catch it early. And so I'm like, if you're going to catch it early, then the chances of survival is way higher. And so I'm like, okay, like it doesn't have to happen right now because, I mean, you said it, they were talking about removing your breast and you said the other operation, which is like removing your uterus and all your lady parts, whatever, inside, which if you were to do that, it speeds up not speeds up, it flips the switch of menopause, like the moment that you get it done. And your life changes pretty drastically. Like, yeah, there's hormone therapy and stuff, but like that you go through like a really harsh change, And then I'm just thinking like, I don't think she needs it right now. And so I'm just like, what if we plan for it and we plan for it at 35 or 40 or something like that? You know, like we keep doing all this checkups to make sure that you're not having anything. And then, yeah, we plan for it at 35, you know, like why do we have to rush into it? And I think that's my contrarian or you would call it the challenger in you, where I'm just like, just because this person freaked my wife out right now doesn't mean that I'm going to fold to like emotion. Like for me, I really fight against those moments. If anybody like tries to like trigger me emotionally, I'm just like, no. I'm going to shut that off and let's think with our brains. Let's be logical or whatever. And so, I'm just like, I don't think she needs it right now. Like, and so, I'm just like, oh, maybe at 35 or 40 or whatever. Like we haven't really set a date or whatever, but.
Yeah, and this summer we are going to speak with a consult. They didn't have an appointment closer to us. And so getting all the information, like pros, cons, what can we expect, and then make a better decision. The whole thing about that, because I thought that too, like I hate you guys. I feel like people think I got no epidural because I'm like strong. And it's like, I hate needles. I didn't even want an IV. Like I hate doctors. I hate needles. So thinking of a surgery, like it does scare me. And then the recovery process does not look easy. You have drains for a long time, can't move. Like it's very difficult on your body. And I reached out to Instagram. I was like, I'm gonna post about it because I have no idea like what this entails. I want more information. I want to speak to like people who have gone through this. And none of my friends went through it, like people I was following. But I did have some people reach out and say that they knew people who went to it. And so I was able to get in contact with 2 ladies from a mutual friend. And it was helpful because those 2 ladies are young. It looks like they were fit and lived healthy lifestyles like me. They were in the early 30s like me. And I'm seeing 2 perspectives. One of them said she was going to wait. They both have like the cancer gene. One of them said, I'm going to wait, kind of do the same thing. And she ended up getting cancer at an early stage and getting the surgery regardless. And one of them did it just preventative, like the same thing. Their mom passed away really young and was like, I'm going to do this because I don't want to go through that. And so I'm talking to both of them and they seem like they have at least like positive experiences. Like on the other side, they don't regret it. They're living good lives. They do say like, obviously certain aspects have been very difficult and dealing with that, talking to support people. But I think that's one of my fears. And so I'm trying not to let like fear be the controlling factor. I feel like it's very easy when you're like emotionally. And I think part of me like is like, oh, this sucks because you're getting better. I'm like eating healthy, working out. And then it seems like it's like for what, like regardless, like life is going to be hard, right? Where you're just like, I'm doing all of the right things. And then it looks like to continue to be better, it's harder. It makes it more difficult. It feels like you're going backwards because who wants to live without like your God-given parts? What makes you a woman? What you've had forever. And it feels like you're removing something. And that's part of me was scary. It's like, what if I didn't have to remove it? Like, what if I never was going to get it? And then I decide to remove them. And I'm like, oh, but it's like, you don't know. Like, how do I know that I'm not going to get it? And so I feel like that's the scary part. And that has been like playing with my mind of like, what if I make the wrong choice? Is there a right choice? Like, it seems like regardless, you're stuck between a hard and a rock place is what the phrase goes, where it's like, we can just wait and have this, I don't want to say like cloud over your head, but it's like every 6 months, try to wait for the test, see what happens. Or then just do it and then not know. Maybe you were never going to get it and you just did it prematurely. And both suck because you don't know what the outcome is. One of the things I think, again, that they, on paper, because my mom was so young when she found it, and when she found it, it was already stage 4. So we have no idea. Like, I wish I knew, like, when did her stage 1 start? Was it in her late 30s? Was it maybe just when she hit 40s and it was super aggressive? Like, I have no idea. And that's when they say, like, we recommend you to get the surgery when your mom started getting cancer. And it's like, oh, well, I don't know that. So I just have to go by guesstimates, you know?
When did she find out? How old was she when she found out?
I believe she was like 40, but it was already stage 4.
She was 40? So let's call it like 35, 36.
And again, just like, I don't know. Just like the what if, like that other girl who like waited, and my story, and I'm reminding myself like that, to not compare myself, Because I feel like sometimes I just want to be like, okay, this was my mom's story. And I think there's that fear and like emotional tie where it's like, that was my mom's story. It doesn't have to be mine. It's not going to be mine. I'm wiser, taking care of my body. Like I'm being proactive, which my mom didn't have that chance. And so reminding myself. And then when I'm reaching out to people and it's like someone caught it and they wanted the preventative, they were going to get the preventative and then they caught it and they have stage 1 cancer. And like you said, you can for sure beat cancer if you're stage 1. But now you have to get the surgery, not on your own time, but go through chemo and radiation on top of the surgery, which makes it way more difficult than just surgery and then. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I mean, where it's like sometimes being better means that you're going to have to make choices that might contradict where you were like heading, or like, I don't know if that makes sense, what I'm trying to get at. Like it seems like there's going to be a moment where you're going to have to, I feel like sometimes we think better is always faster, healthier, like it's going to improve the quality of your life. And sometimes better is going to be like you have to rest, you have to go backwards for a little bit, sacrifice certain things, hurt, go through pain, recover, and then you will be better. But you might not go back to like the way your life was. You might have some loss, and that's okay because it makes you better ultimately. You're being wise about it. Does that make sense?
I guess it would really depend on what you see as going backwards, because as you were talking and you kept saying like going backwards, like it feels like there's like a level of defeat that you're feeling. But my challenger in me, the contrarian in me, just says like, I think the whole point of being better every day is not just a body thing, but it's a mind thing and it's a spirit thing. And although you may have things physically that go wrong, like everything that we do day in and day out, I think prepares us for whatever is up ahead. And so although like you may have to go through these certain things, like you're like, oh, like you might have to take a step back or you lose like some of the progress. And I'm thinking like everything that you do up until that point will have prepared you for what is to come. And like, I just think about, I always bring up this example, but I think about the guy with the Instagram of School of Hard Knocks, and he always asks the billionaires, have you ever been broke before? And they all go, ha, 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 yes, I have. And he always asks them, how did you get back to where you are right now? And what I hear in between their lines is always who we were that got us to that place was a mind thing, was a heart thing, was an us thing. Like there was a character that was developed. There was habits that were developed. There was just like this drive that was developed. And so when they hit those moments of we lost everything, yes, it seems like a loss and it seems like, oh, like, and yeah, you might lose a part of you, whatever. But again, for them, it was, I know I'm going to get back to wherever I was, no problem, because I know who I am. I know the drive that I have. I know the characteristics that I have. I know the mindset that I have. I know the goals that I have. Like, I know who I am. And so I think in those moments, I think there were, like if you do like the double mastectomy or whatever it's called, where you move your breast, like, yeah, there will probably be mourning in regards to like, you're losing a part of your physical self. But I believe that everything that you've gone through will mentally prepare you for you to champion through those moments. And not only that, but like, I mean, me and you both know that we are both meant to be able to be a testimony for people, to be an inspiration, to be role models, whatever. And I know, like, although you are scared and although that you're already thinking about that the loss, and you're already thinking about like, I'm gonna have to slow down and I'm gonna have to rest. I know that in those moments you will pick yourself up every single day and know that you're not doing it just for yourself, but you're doing it for your husband, you're doing it for your kids, and you're doing it for all the people that are going to be able to hear that testimony. And you're going to know that everything that you're going through, God is going to use to be able to help more people. And so, yeah, like I don't agree with, that level of defeat and that level of, take one step forward and two steps back. It's like, no, like the way that I'd see it is you take one step forward and then you stop there for a little bit. The only way that I see somebody taking two steps back is them deliberately harming themselves. So whether that be like with, your diet fails completely and you just binge, or you binge on vices, or you do harm to yourself. That's the only way that I see somebody where I could be like, oh yeah, they took one step forward and then look at them. They took not even 2 steps back, but 10 steps back. But if it's for the simple fact of I need to do something for longevity so I can be here for my kids, so I can, help as many people as I can, so I can love as many people that I can, just like that's not any steps back. Well, that's just my point of view.
No, I mean, I agree. I feel like the point of this is like to show that in hard moments, again, getting better every day, like what does it look like when it is hard, and then it might feel like you're going back physically in my case, right? Emotionally, mentally, like I hear post-surgery is very difficult. Like they recommend therapy and support groups because your hormones are going through so much. And a loss of femininity, of like what we believe it is to be a woman, and finding your self-confidence again, and learning to grieve with it. So like it is a loss and quote unquote go backward, but how you say it can also become like a deeper appreciation for life. The fact that I have this privilege of choosing, like people don't get a choice. People find out too late. People like die, like my mom, like they died because they were already at stage 4. And I know I'll appreciate that I had the option, that I am healthy and I have the option to do it. I know that, how you said, it's going to give me a different perspective. It's going to give me a testimony to share to others. It's going to give me hopefully like perseverance if I don't let the hard moments like define and harden my heart. I think it is just scary. Like it's something that's scary, but that's what I've been like battling of like, oh, this is what the hard days are going to look like, and trying to, and for sure I think I need like therapy, go through it, because again, we said 35 and it might change depending on if the consultation might be earlier, might be later, and we might feel like that's not the route we're going to take. But it's like in the uncertainty, how we rephrase our brain, I think is super important, of how you said of like, okay, what is getting better every day look like in these moments, and being intentional of like choosing the best path, which is difficult because I feel like, again, I'm in the barely, and just the like finding out that they recommend this surgery and having to deal with emotions, I can't even imagine once it becomes like real and tangible. I'm doing it then during the process and then after the process. And so, yeah, I think that's what I wanted to bring up, because I'm sure I'm not like the only one. I'm sure financially there's people who have quote unquote like been wise with their money, getting better every single day, and then something happens where they feel like they're going backwards. And that has happened to us, where we're like, seriously, like we've gotten ourselves this far, we feel like we're getting up out of this hole, and then life throws a curveball and we feel like we're getting worse. But if your starting point is stronger, it's an easier, how you said, like an easier bounce back. It's you're not starting from scratch. You're not starting even from negative. You're starting already with the character and the habits of a successful person, of someone who's better every day. So that like compounds, like that you're going to get out of it faster than a person who like hasn't been stowing away money, hasn't had the character skills, hasn't been building and practicing for the future. And so it's like in every area, same thing in a marriage, right? Like you're going to have arguments. You're going to get ugly towards each other. But if you have a solid foundation, I feel like it's easier to bounce back than people who are like, there's no point. We're just going to, this is how it is always. And so I do think mental shift and like continuing, even when you get discouraged, even when it might look like you're going backwards, is super important, because it's not in vain. And I have to like remind myself that like my health, my eating habits, like it's not in vain. I know that it makes me a stronger person if I didn't do that. And sometimes it seems like easier, like to take the quote unquote easy path, because it's like, well, regardless, life is going to happen. And so might as well enjoy life. But that's not like the wise thing to do.
Yeah. And you were saying, you brought up the financial part and that life throws you a curveball and you feel like you're getting worse. Again, I don't agree with that sentiment of getting worse. Like, I believe you yourself are not getting worse because life threw you a curveball. That means like something came out of the blue. And I believe that is not getting worse. That is simply a test. That's all it is a test. And just like, okay, like it'll feel like a setback, but really, if you are to pass the test, if you are to continue practicing the habits, continue moving forward with the character that you have, like you will pass it. And whatever it is that you thought was a setback was actually a setup. And so I love the verse in James 1:2, where it says, "Count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds, for you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness. And let steadfastness have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing." So like it's just, I don't agree with that sentiment. Don't agree with the sentiment of like, oh, like going through like the surgery, whatever, that is like like getting worse. Like it's not. It's you're taking the measures. And I have a question for you. A question, or maybe just like a statement, I'm not sure, but I am very curious if and when you are to get this surgery and you get it done and it's done, and the following days after, I'm really curious as to what perspective you are going to choose. Because I kind of, while you were talking, put myself in your shoes, and I'm like, oh man, that's tricky, because on one perspective, you could break down emotionally and be like, I wish my mom would have done this. And on the other hand, you could be gracious that you got to have the opportunity that your mom didn't. Right? Because, you know, like the operation brings down your chances of like 95%. And like, you're obviously, well, not obviously, but like we're hoping that, you know, you're going to get a very long life after that. And so it makes me very curious of like, are you going to think about that? What route are you going to take? Like, and I guess right off the hop, like, what do you think your perspective is going to be after, if and when you get this surgery?
I don't think I will lean towards like getting upset at like my mom, because I've thought about that before, and I have thought of like, what if she found the lump? I mean, she found the lump like a whole year before and was scared. Like, she hated doctors too, and just was like hoping it was nothing. And so part of me was like, oh my goodness, if the first time she saw it, she just went to the doctor. And I can't like blame her for it. Like, I don't think she had anyone on her corner telling her to go. Maybe she did. Maybe she ignored it.
Maybe you misunderstood. I didn't mean it in the sense of like you'd be mad at her or anything, but just like, I don't know. I guess I personally would feel not like, oh, like, why didn't you do this? But more of like, I just wish she would have done it, you know?
I feel like even now I'm like, I wish she caught it earlier. I wish the way she dealt with the cancer, like let us in a little bit more. I wish she wrote down letters and accepted her dying and made the transition like easier for us. Like, there's a lot of things that I like wish. I think it'll probably be like a thought, and then I don't think I'll stay parked there for a long time. I don't see myself. I feel like I haven't done that in the grieving process. And so I don't see that like being an issue.
So do you think that you would take more of like a gracious or gratitude perspective of like, I'm thankful that I got to do this, like something that I guess my mom didn't have the opportunity to do? And
I'd hope. I feel like I can see myself going there, or just be like, why is it that I have to do this? You know, like, I wish I didn't have to do this. I wish I didn't have the gene, and just like spiral. And so that's something what I don't want to do. Like, the reality is I got dealt these cards, And I know, like, I've been talking to people about it, and I know there's certain people that are just like pray. It doesn't have to be a curse. Like, it can end with you. But it's like, the reality is there's a gene in me that's not working or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I got these cards dealt with. I can't ignore it or like pray it away. Like, hope nothing happens from it. Like, it might not be anything. I don't know. That's the scary part, that we don't know. And so I think, like, I can see myself just being like, oh, why did I like get frustrated at God? Like, why did I get dealt these cards? Like, is this something I have to think about? Why is it? And especially when I think about, like, my daughter, they said I can carry it and I can give it to Raya. And having that conversation when she's 18, getting tested herself. And if she has it, it's like, hey, mama, so when you're 30, you're going to have to get tested. And this is something you're going to have to think about. Like, it just sucks that it doesn't end with my mom. It doesn't end with me. And so I feel like I can see myself going down that hole of, like, being hardened and, like, this sucks. Like, you know, kind of like life sucks. But I am grateful. Like, I was thinking about it, and it's like, I am in a way learning from my mom, and I'm not just letting life pass by. Like, I'm being proactive about it. I'm trying to educate myself. I hate going to the doctors, but going regardless, like getting the mammogram, it's uncomfortable, but just deciding, like, this is something I have to do. And so I am grateful that I have like those preventative measures, and that I am healthy enough to go to the doctors, and my insurance covers it. Like, I am grateful for that.
Yeah, I think you've already gone through, I guess, that sort of test of asking God, like, why, right? With the passing of your mom. And so I would like to think that because you've gone through something similar, and this is more, hopefully, like, more preventative, it's like, yeah, you'll have that moment. Like, I think it's normal to have that moment, like, why? But then also have that thought. And again, that this is just backing up, like, my thought process of, like, everything that you've gone through prepares you for these moments of, like, I've been here before. I've been in this point where I'm like, God, why do I have to go through this? Why did this happen? Why? And I'd like to think that those past experiences have set you up for this, right? And yeah, I mean, everybody has a choice, right? I can sit here and hope, like, that you'll be the woman that, like, okay, I'm through the surgery, everything went well. Now I have to go through all this recovery. I have to seek help. And I would like to think that you would be the woman that, again, like, you know, the calling that you're carrying, right? And so I'd like to think that you'd take every single step, even if it's a small step, and being like, doing this for my family, doing this for my calling, I'm doing this to bless, you know, so on and so forth. And again, that you take everything that you've gone through in the past and just like, I've been here before, I've done this before, this is what God has done in me. Like God's not done with me. He's going to continue working, and so on and so forth. Like, I would like to picture you to be that person, but I know that I'm somebody from the outside of the box being like, oh, this is what you should do, you know, like, and I'm not in the box. Although I am married to you and we're going to go through this together, I know that, like, you are going to have moments of, like, feeling of solitude, of, like, our isolation, where it's just like this, there's certain parts where you feel like I'm alone. Right. And as much as, you know, I could be there, the kids could be there, or friends could be there for you, like, there's going to be a part of you where you're like, you guys are not going through what I'm going through. Like, and there's probably going to be a part where you're like, I don't want to hear any more positive words. Like, just give me a day or a moment to just, like, whatever, you know? Yeah. But I would like to think, all in all, that you would be able to pick yourself up and continue moving forward. And, like, again, not that you have the responsibility of picking yourself up, because you have a husband, you have friends, you have your kids, you know, like, you have reasons to live, you have reasons to keep going forward, right? But yeah, that would be my hope, that's the ride that you would choose. Yeah.
I do think I mean, anything can happen, but I do feel like I'm the type of person that if I am in a low spot, like I do seek help. Maybe not with like I don't know how to communicate with you or like my family or friends, because I feel like during postpartum I didn't even know how to ask for help. But I've always been like, okay, I need to go to therapy and like advocate for myself. Like I'm going to go to therapy. Or when I was struggling breastfeeding Elijah, like I'm going to seek help. Like I didn't shy away from going to lactation consultant in the hospital. Then when they told me no, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to La Leche League and find community groups. Like I wasn't satisfied of like, I'm going to do this on my own and it's going to be easy. And I was like, I'm going to find a way. Like I'm going to look for help. And I hope, and again, I do want to take therapy like before to process what I need to process. And then if I do the surgery during and then after, like find support groups and get as much resources. So I do, at least in the sense, like I know I'm good at that, of like finding resources and speaking to people, even now, like reaching out to girls who have gone through it that I don't know, like, hey, how is it the experience for you? And so I'm not worried about that. And so I feel like, yeah, there will be moments of, again, it'll look like setbacks, but because of the like strong foundation and like the person that I have decided to become, it's going to be, I'm gonna be there for a short time and it'll be like a setup to something greater. And I think also like trying to find the balance of like not romanticizing the pain of like, oh, I'm doing this and it's going to make me better, like recognizing the pain, but also recognizing how, like James said, that like it's going to produce something, and being grateful for that process and finding the balance of like not being all like spiritual about it and being like, oh, it's all okay, it's like for your good, which it is, but being like, no, like I recognize that this does suck, like this is painful, this is hard, but I know it'll produce something in me.
I also hope that whatever it is that you and Nate and people say that I have some sort of switch, but you also have a switch, and I hope that whatever it is that makes you flip the switch on you deciding to do hard things gets flipped one more time, at least with this. Because I mean, like, okay, like the epidural, you were so gung ho of like, I'm not doing no epidural. I'm gonna have a natural birth. I'm gonna be one of a kind. Like, there's not many women that do the natural births anymore, and and you just kept going in. You were just locked in. Then same thing with this working out. Like, I'm gonna work out and I'm gonna do the half marathon. I'm gonna do the full marathon, and then I'm gonna do like high intensity training. And now you want to do the high rocks and so on and so forth. Like, whatever it is that gets you to flip that switch, and at the point that you're at, like, I don't even care if it's like for the wrong reasons, because sometimes I feel like all you do it is for like, oh, I want people to like notice how strong I am, or whatever. Like, I don't even care, like, if it's for that reason. Like, if that is what makes you flip the switch in those moments of like, okay, like this sucks, blah, 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 but, and then you just like think about like, oh, like the story and the testimony that's going to come out of this or whatever, like, and the way that people are going to look up to you, or what, for whatever reason, just like, I hope that flip, the switch flips, because again, I keep referencing like whatever you've gone through the past is setting you up for whatever it is that you're going to go through in the future, whatever. And I just hope that you remember those times of who you were, of just like, I can do this. I did that. I did that. I did that. I did that. So I can do this. Like, I just hope that you lock in. And then in regards to the mentality of why me and why this, like, I mean, the other thing that I always like to go back to is like the whole, like the chosen James thing, right? Like, yeah, life would be so much easier if we didn't have any issues, if God miraculously healed you from that, and all of a sudden, like, you go to the doctor and, oh, like, you don't have that gene or whatever, like, it says that your genes are perfect or whatever. Like, yeah, life would be so much more perfect, right? And that would also be a testimony. But like, I feel like there are some people that, maybe a lot of people, because I guess it depends on like who you're talking to, but a lot of people are dealt hands that are not the greatest, whether that's in what you're going through or how they grew up in a rough neighborhood or rough parents or whatever. Like, people got dealt crappy hands. And yes, they could sit there and be like, why me? My life would be so much easier, God, if you just healed my parents, or you healed my body, or you healed this, or you changed that, and blah, 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 blah. But how much more of a bigger testimony is it to carry something that others can't carry, and still proclaim that God is good, And again, then you go to that being that living testimony of like how is it that you've gone through everything that you've gone through and you're still joyful and you still have peace and you still proclaiming that God is good? Like how? Mm-hmm. There could only be one reason, you know? And so I would like to hope that you can also have that.
Yeah. And I think I will. I think it's just like the beginning phases of like shocked that I didn't hear about this and they made it seem like you should have been thinking about it already, and of like, okay, I have to mentally prepare, like this is the route I want to go, and discerning of like the difference between wisdom and like fear of like I need to search this because I'm scared, or like I need to search this because I'm a good steward, and finding that balance I think it makes a huge difference, and surrendering it to God, but also being proactive in faith, because faith without action is dead. And so there's a lot of like, how am I navigating this? And so I do believe that God, at the end of the day, like if I do surrender it to him, he's going to make any situation glorify him. And that's what I hope happens in this process. And I'm willing to like let him write my story, whatever that looks like. And I just wanted to show like the real parts. And hopefully, again, people understand that it's important to be intentionally better every day, because when life throws you the curveball, or when you feel like you have to take a pause or a step back, it's how you said, it's not a step back, it's a setup. It is a moment where it'll shift, or being your best is not going to look fast paced. It's not going to look strong, and it's not going to look like you're a go-getter. It's going to look like surrendering. It's going to look like trusting in God, resting, maybe sacrificing something, losing something, grieving, healing, but you're going to get better for it. If you are God's child and if you are walking with his ways, there's no way but that you'll be better for it. It's just us being willing to like, am I going to try to do this on my own out of fear, have hardened my heart, or am I going to soften my heart, surrender my fear? You can have fear, you can be scared, and just like surrender it to God, have these honest conversations with God. There's no reason to hide it, I feel like. And so I just wanted to bring this real time, I guess, like mental, like where I'm at. And yeah, so I'd say that's it.
All right.
Thank you guys. Again, if you missed us, let us know. But we truly appreciate every single person watching us. Feel free to like, share this with someone. And I do believe that in God, nothing is in vain. We will get better every single day if we walk with him by our side. And so until the next one, bye.
Bye.